for you?
I never resented my mother for being forgiving. What I resented her for was leaving me uncovered.
Hey champions, allow me to introduce you to author Yolanda Myrick and her Why My Mom story entitled Forgiveness Matters. You see, Yolanda and her mother struggled for years in their relationship because her mother was an alcoholic. But just as things were getting right, Yolanda's mother passed away. Forgiveness does matter, and I hope you discover just why in her story.
Yolanda Myrick. Why My Mom story began some years ago. However, the grief began 5 years ago when I lost my mother suddenly to a stroke. Losing my mom suddenly affected me because what it actually signified was the end of what I had hoped to be a long-standing opportunity to extend our relationship. It was truly the end of something so suddenly that I thought we would have time to work on. It was the end. My relationship with my mother prior to her passing was one that I just felt was on the mend, meaning I had learned to accept and respect her for the woman she was. I had learned at some point to just accept that her mothering was out of what she knew and out of what she was capable of doing. Up until then, I had spent so many years, I guess, trying to prove to her and try to show her that I could be a better mom than her. In all reality, I don't ever really think I was ever better than her, if not equal to, in terms of just doing what you know. And so her death kind of ended an opportunity for me to actually say to her, to actually say it, not to actually come to the realization like, oh wow, I have my ways too, but to actually say to her, you know what, I get it. You did what you knew, and that's it. So her death just affected the opportunity for her to hear me say that. Some of the things that I experienced with my mother was her alcoholism. And the effect of the alcoholism obviously altered her personality from time to time. It wasn't that she intended on being a different person. It's just the effects of alcohol. As I got older, I understood the disease that it in fact it is, and the fact that at moments or at times during my childhood, she just depended on it. She didn't feel like she had, I guess, any other outlets. I just became part of the story, I guess. So the experiences of the alcoholism kind of affected me wanting to always be the opposite or do the opposite when it came to my mothering skills. So once again, I was always in this silent competition with her to do better than her. My survival was really based on the fact that I did have other family members. I'm very, very close with my aunt, very close with my sister. So my survival was based on understanding that I came from a family of caring women. I came from a family of strong women. I came from a family of praying women. So very early it was instilled in me that, God is he's going to provide. He's our keeper. He's our everything. And so I kind of hid in that. I hid in the message that I had grown up on, that no matter what was going on around me, that God would keep me. So I really credit the majority of my survival to that. Not that all of my behaviors, reflected my trust in God at certain times, but the reality is that was where I hid. I hid in the comfort of knowing that that God would make sure that I was okay, even though everything, or literally all hell was breaking loose around me. So that's what I credit my survival to. I never resented my mother for being forgiving. What I resented her for was leaving me uncovered. That's where the majority of my resentment came from. I always believed that forgiveness was a healthy thing to do because it brought peace. Like, for example, rather than spending 2 and 3 and 4 days arguing about something, right? To forgive means, we've discussed it, we've talked about it, we fussed about it, now we're going to move on. And so I feel that forgiveness is a good thing, but the resentment came when, you're forgiving, but you're not covering. And you're not saying, okay, you did that yesterday, but you're not going to do this again today. So the resentment came more from not out of the forgiveness or forgiving spirit that she had, but more of the fact that she continuously left me what I felt to be uncovered and abandoned. When my mother left me uncovered is when, I was a young girl, and my mother should have been home. She was not working during the day. We had grown up in a typical, my mom worked at night. She was home during the day. Typical bring cupcakes to school type of mom. But the one time that she left me uncovered is when I came home from school and was violently attacked. So that actually began a long string of trauma, fear, and just wondering, when is this going to end? When is it going to be enough for her? If my mother would have been there to have saved me from being attacked, I believe that our relationship would have been strong. I believe the level of respect that I would have grown up having for her would have been where it needed to be. I believe actually my mothering and my parenting skills would probably have been a little more normal and a lot less parenting out of panic. So I just believe that had my mother been there to save me, psychologically, I probably would have been a different person. Without the pain that I've gone through, I don't believe that I would have ever felt the need to take on such a ministry in terms of sharing with other women how to not just get over something, but to actually go through it and unpack it and make it all make sense. It's kind of an oxymoron to say, well, if that's something that would happen to me, I wouldn't be that way. But the reality is sometimes, you when you fall and you get hurt, it hurts. But it's a lesson. Very, very painful. Very painful. But psychologically, I don't think I would have the endurance that I have right now. I don't think I would have even known what the word endure meant, quite honestly, had I not gone through that. So I don't discount that everything does, in fact, happen for a reason. I don't discount that. To the woman who is battling such an awful disease such as alcoholism, I would say to her to take one day at a time and put the bottle down, because your babies need you. Every drink, every swallow, every bottle represents something that they're not getting. And so I would just simply ask that you replace that by making a decision to do something different, with your pain, whether it's to seek some form of counseling, whether it's to, get on the phone and call a friend and say, listen, I need your help. I just would really appeal to that woman to ask for help, to speak up, because a lot of times we self-soothe and we do things in an effort to drown our pain away. But if you're a mother, you're responsible for that child you created, and it is your responsibility. So I would just ask that you just, one day at a time, find a way. Great Things Christian Child Care Center is my state licensed child care facility where I serve families with children ages 6 weeks to 12 years old. That business was birthed out of a desire to make not only just a difference in the lives of the children, but to make a difference in the lives of the parents, predominantly mothers, who are typically the ones that I see in my office enrolling children. But the bottom line is, for me, Great Things Christian Child Care is not just about watching children. It's about connecting with the families. It's about seeing where my staff and I can fill in the gaps, because there are gaps. Socially and emotionally, there are gaps. And sometimes, mom is busy. Mom is trying to figure it all out. As we, all know, moms do what they know. And so for me, Great Things Christian Child Care Center was just truly an opportunity to fill in the gaps for these children. Early childhood education is one of the most important times in a child's life. And so given my past, I'm aware of just how important those moments are. And so if for 10, sometimes 12 hours a day, if my staff and I can fill in the gap, then we're there. And that's what we do 5 days a week. As well, Great Consulting Firm, LLC. I'm also founder and executive director of that business. The purpose of that is to provide resources and support for those who are actually in the child care field. We want to make sure that their staff and the directors are actually clear on really why they're in the business. I heard a very wise woman say to my staff during the training that, it's not enough to just love the children. It's important to truly understand their minds, to truly understand their needs, social and emotionally. So Great Consulting Firm, we feel the need for appropriate training and support. And lastly, Great Things Transportation. We are just looking to make sure that those babies can get to where they need to go, because we do, in fact, again, understand that lives are just busy, moms are just busy, dads are just busy, and we just want to fill in the gap. My name is Yolanda Myrick, and this is my Why My Mom story.
I'll be your hero. I'll be your strength when you need it most. You don't have to be alone. I'll be there, keep holding on. Don't have to worry, don't be scared. Love has never failed you yet. I'll be your hero.
Okay, old lady, I love you. You're not here with us anymore, but I want you to know how much I love you, how much I appreciate everything you did for me. I want you to know that I am at peace and that I truly, truly love you and hope to continue to make you proud. I love you.